This is Action Sports Jax First and 10 Training Camp, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Sight for sore eyes. Healthy Christian Kirk making catches. The season kind of went south at the Bengals game last year, a game where Kirk was injured and never able to come back. He's back now as the Jags kick off a new season. First and 10 is on the air. Hi, everybody. Hicken here. Jags football is back in Duval. Time to tackle the issues of training camp with sports concepts and rationalizations. The Jaguars won the offseason. We need some W's, though, starting in September. We'll forget the stadium approval, the big contracts, the throwback uniforms, the draft. The time is now for this football team to find ways to win. It's the ultimate results-oriented business. Remember, to accomplish our goal of getting better each day on First and 10, we have brought in the heavy hitters and Brent to give us some insights into day one. Tyson Campbell has a new deal. So too does Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines-Allen. They are the core of this football team who are on a mission. Here's Martineau on if it's a mission possible.
As the Jaguars begin training camp 2024, they hope this regular season of football is as good as the offseason. We've said that in the past about Jacksonville, but this was the biggest offseason in the history of the franchise. Obviously, the renovated stadium approval, the 30-year lease, but even when it comes to this roster, extending Josh Hines-Allen, extending Trevor Lawrence, and then this past week, extending Tyson Campbell. That 2021 class is starting to look like a blockbuster, and those big deals have ramifications in the locker room.
I think the domino effect is how it can uplift your team, right? I think it shows a commitment from the organization that the guys that have been drafted here can be here long term, and I think that's a great message for a lot of the young players. If you do things right, both on and off the field, you could be rewarded for it.
I'm just so grateful to have a deal like this and grateful enough to have an organization like the Jags just trusting and believing in me. So, I'm going to do my best to, prove that, I'm one of the leaders on this defense and this team and, bring a Super Bowl to Jacksonville.
The expectations are high, and they should be around here. We expect to win, and times now, we've kind of been We've been lingering around a little bit the last couple of years, but this is our opportunity, and we need to take advantage of it.
The Jaguars right now are walking their talk. They spend a ton of money on homegrown players. They want to continue to do that instead of spending in free agency as they continue the pursuit for sustained success. A big factor in that is how the 2023 and 2024 draft classes perform this year and in the future. At Jags headquarters, I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax.
Now, there's no doubt Trevor Lawrence is the unquestioned leader of this football team heading into year 4 and armed with a new franchise quarterback contract. While the money amps up, so too do the expectations. More with Trevor now with Liv Tasley.
Consistency is key, and that's going to be a huge factor for Trevor Lawrence as he begins year 3 under the Doug Peterson regime. He spoke to the media after day 1 of on-field practices for training camp 2024. He noted he feels more comfortable as he gets back out here, knowing all offseason he could focus in on the little details and come back into a familiar system. But that training camp is still a grind, and this team, this franchise, and these fans know last year did not end the way they wanted to, and they're back in a prove-it year, and they look forward to doing just that.
It's always fun being on this side of it where you want to prove everybody wrong, and you have a lot of people doubting you, and maybe there's not as many expectations from the outside. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You still got to go perform, and it matters really what goes on in this building and what we do out here getting ready for the season, and really the attitude and mindset that we have moving forward. That's really what matters, but I will say it is fun kind of being the overlooked team, and you do kind of enjoy that, and you want to prove people wrong.
The Prove It year comes with big-time commitments after owner Shad Khan spent around $500 million in the offseason on keeping key players in Jacksonville, including Trevor Lawrence himself. You know who else is committed? The fans. They were outside the Miller Electric Center hours before gates opened to get their first look at this 2024 team. And Trevor said they brought the juice to day 1 of on-field practices, something Trevor hopes this team can do for the fans this season. For now, reporting at training camp, I'm Olivia Tasley, Action Sports Jax.
No big concerns, but Eric Armstead is on the physically unable to perform list to start. Look, it's July. September matters for an NFL veteran, and he already looks like he's in pretty good shape. Non-contact for Darnell Savage. as well. Preseason game plan, Doug Peterson saying today the starters will play weeks 1 and 3, with some variance, but likely not game 2 after the joint practices with the Tampa Bay Bucks. We'll keep you posted on that. When he went down, so too did the Jags. We're going to catch up with Christian Kirk when 1st and 10 rolls on.
You're watching Action Sports Jax, 1st and 10, Training Camp. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
It's cool when all those different worlds collide. And I obviously remember when I was in high school, if I had the opportunity to be out there with guys that played in the NFL, I would have loved that. And the guys that were catching for us really enjoyed it.
Trevor talking about a recent outing in Jacksonville last week where he threw with some NFL quarterbacks like Brock Purdy and Nate Peterman and some young high school receivers getting the chance to catch balls from those NFL QBs. We're back on 1st and 10. The Jags were sailing along at 8-3 one season ago. They hosted the Bengals without Joe Burrow on a Monday night. Early in the game, Christian Kirk went down with an injury, never returned at all for the season. It wasn't the only reason, but the offense certainly didn't look the same after Trevor's favorite target went down. Marcel Robinson now catching up with Christian Kirk.
You look around and a lot of these guys are going to be the guys that take us to where we want to go. And so it's just kind of building that unity. We talked a lot last night as players about, our vision and who we want to be, and then holding each other to a standard.
You just mentioned that your season ended early last year. How has it been, for you specifically to be able to get back on the grass? You've been doing your workouts and rehab and everything, but to kind of get back on the grass in this space, how has that been for you?
It's been great. To be honest, even during OTAs and minicamp, I wasn't, where I wanted to be, just because I still had some work to do to get my body to where I felt, 100%. And, I did some great work back home in Arizona. I'm pain-free. I feel great moving around there today. And so I'm just really excited because I hadn't felt that way in a long time. So I just know when I'm out there and I'm 100%, I can do some good things.
Is it safe to say that you're past that sort of maybe mental hurdle of being back? Because obviously physically you've been right for a long time, but to have that mental knowledge that, hey, I can get out here and do what I do best?
For sure, yeah, because I was in that space where I was just guarded and protected, for a long time, and not really sure what my body was going to feel or do, and so now I can just go out there and play free.
Talk to me about that room, the receiver room you guys have. It's stacked. It's been stacked year after year, but this year come in, obviously, you, Gabe, bringing in Brian Thomas Jr., talk about, what you've seen and what you expect from this receiving core.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously having Gabe, who's been in, the NFL for a while and who has done it at a high level, and then, having Brian, who's a new guy with a lot of talent that has a lot to learn. It's just been a cool dynamic. I definitely don't take the position of being a leader lightly. I love just giving back and teaching guys, and because we have the room that wants to get better. That's the good thing, is we have a lot of young guys that really can that can play, but you just need some facilitation from the old guys, just kind of bring them along. And when they have down days, because that's going to happen in training camp, is you're going to face a little adversity. So it's just on us to bring these guys along, and we're only as good as our weakest link.
1st and 10, he may be the best young golfer in the world by miles. We'll explain next as we roll on. And it wasn't just training camp over at Jags HQ today. There was an entrepreneur boot camp with Jags legend Aaron Beasley created 99 Jags Group to bring opportunities to former Jags players, focused on bringing value to Jacksonville. His lesson, teaching the basics of owning and running a franchise to potentially kicking off an investment and opening new restaurants in Jacksonville. Shout out to the legend and the work he's doing beyond the gridiron.
You're watching Action Sports Jax, 1st and 10, Training Camp. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Play calling was something that's been asked. Are you going to explore taking those back over to Tustoon? Is that something that's been decided yet?
He'll do it today in practice.
Preseason, that's still up in the air?
Yeah, we're still in discussions with all that, and, I'm not ready to make a, public decision yet.
Just aren't ready. The biggest question facing the Jaguars. Who's going to call the plays? Will it be Peterson? Will it be Press? We'll find out. Welcome back to First and 10, our first edition. Some other sports before we get out of here. Let's talk about Miles Russell. Should be well rested for a possible marathon day at the U.S. Junior Amateur. The Jax Beach native, 15 years old, won his opening match at the Oakland Hills Country Club up in Michigan. His opponent conceded. Russell was up 5 up through 10 holes of play and would have ended the match by winning 2 more. He plays Thursday morning. I want to show you the Coastal Collegiate Baseball League semis tonight here in Jax. Dolphins down to the Hawks 3-0. Liam Prepetit singles up the middle. That's Cade Idem from Ponte Vedra High School scoring a run, 3-1. Cal Leonard, formerly of Bishop Kenny, now at UNF. Watch him over at first base, flash the leather. Ooh, that's a nice play. Dolphins walk it off literally. Championship game coming up tomorrow night at Bragan Sports Complex as the Dolphins get the victory tonight. Appreciate you hanging out with us on First and 10. We'll be doing it all during training camp with your Jacksonville Jaguars as we keep an eye on all of the issues, and we look forward to August 10th and the Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, football is back in Duval. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Action Sports Jax First and 10 Training Camp. Sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.